So, good evening and welcome back to the Battlefield EMS 1 Cup number 2, and we are into the second day here. And I'm once again joined I'm rejoined, should I say, by my delightful.
I like how you're taller than me right now.
It's a new thing I'm trying out. It's called height. I've never tried it out before. So, whoa, there's just no need for that.
You know, I was actually okay. So our chair was all the way down, and I think yours is all the way up right now.
I don't feel as though this is appropriate.
Okay, so anyways, yeah. So I'm coming back from yesterday. I had to do a different show, but I'm joining you for the semifinals and the grand final stage for cut number 2. And you can kind of, I guess, walk us through cut number, not cup number 1, what happened yesterday, because we're going to pull up the brackets for you.
We can go.
Yeah,
we can backtrack. All right, let's actually have a look at those brackets. As
Did
you
it.
mentioned.
Nailed it.
All right, so we'll be starting with Fnatic against Team uMAV. Now, that's going off, yesterday's kind of things that we saw. Team uMAV, up against Refuse, did really well. They showed that they were strong, that they were fully capable of really challenging. And Dogbert, had them as a team to be watching, keeping your eyes on. If anyone can beat the big dogs, it's going to be them. And looking at the maps they've got coming up, they're starting off on a very strong one for them on Storm. So can't wait to see that one pan out. They're very, very capable. Fnatic had a fairly comfortable ride, didn't lose out on a map. They had Team Acrux and Exacquo, so not, completely new teams to this, but nothing quite big enough to challenge the big guys. Now, outside of that, let's look down to the lower half of the bracket. So we did catch a couple of these games. We saw Epsilon up against Meet Your Makers, and prior to that, ESC up against Meet Your Makers as well. Now, ESC had a bit of a back and forth game, but Meet Your Makers looked overall very strong in that matchup. But then they faced up against Epsilon Esports, who made them look like amateurs. It was so strange to watch. Now, Dignitas had to have been watching that game if they finished up early enough, and they'll know what they're up against, let alone they'll be watching that VOD trying to work out what they now need to be dealing with, because Epsilon are looking like a threat that is really going to need to be dealt with. And I was talking to Dogbert afterwards, and he even said, if we pick this one up, I'll be absolutely ecstatic, because those guys are so damn capable, so damn strong at the moment.
It's being taller than me.
Is it hurting?
Sorry, it's hurting my pride. Wow. But what's really funny though is I do remember from last week, and I was going over the statistics of the games that happened in cut number 1 and the games that happened yesterday. I didn't even hit the button for that to happen.
Game sounds.
Yeah, so it's really funny is that Fnatic's only lost 1 map out of these 2 cups so far, and that 1 map they did lose was to Epsilon. And it was on Operation Locker, which is pretty much their most played map, which is interesting to see. I really don't know what's going to happen throughout these semifinals, because Dignitas, they really impressed us last week in cut number 1. They didn't have enough to really pull it through towards the very end, but they did very well. They had some really good maps. Dawnbreaker, they played extremely well, and I remember Judd, he just is constant pushing in different directions. Judexy also going to the back. Actually, it's the same guy. Sorry, Jerk was the man I was thinking of. Constantly attacking A over and over on that map, and it really applied a lot of pressure. But Meet Your Makers had them read a little bit differently, and hopefully they come back a little bit stronger this time.
It's so hard to even just go back to those games. These teams are evolving every time I watch them, and they're just getting stronger and better. And I think the safe money would be on Fnatic going through this, but everyone's got a tough opponent here. No one's got the easier semi-final. They're both extraordinarily strong teams. Now, Fnatic, they've got their star players, but as do uMAV at the moment, they're probably one of the more hard-to-contain teams. They're very aggressive.
I think that's
they're very hard to read.
We can even show about that since, we show the brackets, but there's also something else right under the brackets. So I'll go and bring that up on your screen in just a second if I can hit the right button. There we go. uMAV, and yeah, you're right. They are 10-0-1 in the A series right now. They really impressed us in the Gopher, and the Gophers they played over the past couple of weeks. Yep. They impressed us last week. They really didn't get through as far as they really wanted to, but they are the first team that is not a core team to advance into the semifinals of the EMS 1 series. So I have high hopes for them, and I really hope they do, do something a little bit special. Maybe, take that to 3 maps, maybe beat them. I don't know. It's all up to them, and it's really cool to see though that teams in the A series can actually beat the top dogs.
Yeah, and uMAV are just so strong as individuals. The way they play, they may not be the most tactically sound team in the world, but their talent as raw individuals aiming alone is just so hard to deal with. Every team struggled to a point with them. There's no one who can comfortably beat these guys. Right. Even the big guys will struggle, but then claim it towards the end. So yeah, ESC got made to look like amateurs by MYM, but now MYM have a they got knocked out in the game just afterwards. So it's still very close, but the top teams are starting to excel so quickly. It's so hard to keep track of how the skill level is going. So, it's all about keeping your eyes on these games, watching it back. Even going back to Cup 1, these teams have changed drastically. So I do believe we are pretty much ready to go underway in the game.
I want to say it's not live.
Live after map load, so I do believe it is live. So we'll be jumping straight into the first map. It will be Storm.
Man.
And
Wait,
we
which
can
button?
find out who's on which side. At the moment, it's a 2-1 hold. No surprises. The US side claiming A and C. And let's find out who's on what side right now. So it'll be uMAV on the Chinese side, and the US side being Fnatic. We know Fnatic are strong on this, but uMAV certainly have their talents for holding within those buildings, and we're seeing Asterix doing that right now, running with the usual weapon we see him happily sticking with it. They're looking to take down a lot of these buildings here, hence why they are running with that. They want to kind of make it a lot more accessible and a lot easier to penetrate through those buildings and lock down. So he's going for that Ace 52 close quarters. Basically, they're really kind of very similar to the Ace, very, much in the same territory there. And a lot of people have been favoring it. A lot of people have been running with it. We see a couple of players championing that. But A right now is swinging back and forth, 2v2 going down. You can see Asterix providing the cover over the top. A little bit of fire comes through, but they're in the trenches. There's no way he can break through down there. He might need to get himself into the action because they might lose out this one.
Oh, we see Unfix right there. And, you mentioned something to me earlier on today. We saw yesterday the Scar finally coming into play a little bit more. We saw it, obviously...
Same setup as well as what we're seeing.
Yeah.
The muzzle break, angle grip.
I'm trying to think, who was the man we actually saw use it? The only man we ever saw use it. It was on Dawnbreaker. I can't remember the team, though, off the top of my head. I think it was Dignitas, actually. It was a man on Dignitas. I can't remember off the top of my head. But we do finally see a little bit of adaptation coming within the meta of guns, which is really nice to see.
Certainly.
And, I guess you can kind of explain why the Scar is being picked up a lot more. I know you did a really good job doing it to me a little bit earlier on.
Well, in my eyes, it kind of gives you a little bit more of a long-range bonus. With that angle grip in play, those first two shots are lethal. As you saw there, Unfix, thank you for proving me right. But the minuscule amount you have in that one clip of 21 bullets can come into effect. So that angle grip really makes it count when you get that under control. But let's spin over to C, because we might be seeing a triple cap coming about here. Too Easy has taken this one. He's not even being challenged. This is a huge lead and a bit of a surprise, because we know that uMAV are stronger than this, and they're just not showing up. They've been bullied out already. They're so far back. They've got one man in the buildings, but I can imagine he'll be challenged out soon if he's not careful.
The question is, where do they want to attack now? Knowing that they are tri-capped currently, we have three men, working towards the buildings. They're trying to work their own way in there, as you were just saying, with Asterix, taking a look over towards A. That might be the direction they want to make happen, but with B finally being capped over, it looks like that's going to be the move they're going to make. And Fnatic, they're going to look at that and say, hey, we held on to 3 points for, about 10, 20 seconds. We got a lot of tickets off the enemy team here. They're going to be quite happy with that.
In my eyes, what uMAV need to do is now work their way back into these buildings, as it's such an important factor in this map, because you can control pretty much everything, excluding maybe the trenches on A, maybe a couple of positions behind C. But we are seeing that swing around on A. That is going to be going uMAV's favor, and you can tell that they already have a good few players in that building section. 3 players there, allowing them the chance to actually spread out a bit. Now we're seeing Fnatic on the same position that uMAV were just moments ago, but they're bullying their way in. We've got people like Unfix and Value just really being headstrong players. We'll see if he can challenge out Asterix here, who was peering over, trying to support C. He'll push up perfectly, and now Fnatic have a chance to make their counter on that B site if they fancy their spawns, that really support it.
And last cup, we actually did get to see, luckily, Fnatic play on Paracel Storm, and they had a really interesting attack about it. They actually had Winghaven, who was always the man to just kind of anchor the team, as we were talking about. He was always the guy that was just sat back. He was always in a good position, pick up kills here and there, but the more important thing about it was he wouldn't die. It always gave him his team that ability to respawn on top of him if they wanted to. Gave him that nice control around the map, and it really applied a lot of pressure, throughout the entirety of the game, and right now it's kind of doing the same thing.
In my eyes, he's also in a fairly safe position. Round the back there, you're not getting the people from C. He's playing by the back of B, allowing access to the buildings so they want to take over, so Winghaven's in there a moment. Too Easy's more being the Slayer role, kind of getting into their faces there, being a bit more aggressive. Normally Value and Unfix are that, but he's in a great spot here to take down a good couple of players, tagging up too. That's going to be making the calls so imperative right now, and you're seeing that triple cap coming out. These guys, they've got the ideal positions. Where are we seeing the counter caps coming in? We've got 2 underway quite possibly soon. A could be contested, but Sneaky, living up to his name, getting straight towards that C site, capping it out. And as soon as they may feel that Fnatic are coming over, they're going to try that A site as well.
And they're also getting some respawns. Actually, they're not getting respawns on top of it, but we do have Mort following on the backside. He's looking for that kill onto him, maybe to take C back. Currently down that 2-1 cap point. Does spot Sneaky right there, but doesn't get the shot onto him. He's going to be forced to back away off of that. And right now, uMAV have actually going for a tri-cap themselves here over at B.
They desperately need it. This is dire times for them. They're down to 51 tickets already, and they're finding it very hard to control the pace and slow it down. They've not really gained control of those buildings for a long time, and B becomes almost impossible to lock down when you're in that sort of situation. They've got it for now, but upon Fnatic's respawn, they already have C, so they're in a good chance of getting themselves to the A side of the buildings, quite possibly. But already they're going to be focusing out A instead. They feel that's a better option, and they're doing the damage to allow it to happen. Unfixed, keeping them far away with that Scar H, and just using the viability of this gun. And that's exactly what he needed. 2-1 hold down in Fnatic's favor.
That's a really good point, too, because what he's been doing is he's roaming around like this area of the map. He isn't actually going for any pushes into any of the sites. He's just applying that long-range cover, and with the Scar, like you're saying, it's working out perfectly for him. So let's see if he keeps that one up as he's actually going to be heading in towards a building here. But uMAV finally being a 2-cap. It seems like they have the read on Fnatic a little bit better this time as 2easy actually opens up C. Doesn't even know it's actually completely available, but looking for a couple of more kills here. And that actually might provide the ability to recap B, maybe go for C, and get that 2-to-1 cap advantage back, because currently they're bleeding a lot of tickets.
Yeah, considering where Value and Winghaven were, he was trying to get into that building site to alleviate some of the pressure of the crossfire over. But now Delarco's just going on the roaming hunt. He's trying to find out where these players are, trying to find out if there's anyone further back. He's being the Winghaven almost of the team. Very similar positioning, being the guy to try and work out the spawn, work out the cross. We are seeing C being countercapped and A. He's picked up a nice kill onto 2easy there, but already Fnatic have found their answer in the fact that they can claim all the sites, but they've lost out on 2 because they couldn't get that penetration into the buildings just yet.
And look at this. They only have 2 men alive right now. Actually, now just 1 man in the hands of Winghaven. They had a flank coming in here. Yeah, they had a flank coming in towards B and towards A, but they got completely shut down by Delarco, as you're saying, playing that kind of Winghaven anchor role. And with these respawns coming in here, I would assume they're going to have to attack B, but they have to take this first building to make it happen.
Yeah, most certainly. Unfix is the man to kind of gain a little bit of access there, taking his time. He does want to go head-to-head with players, play it slowly, wait for the map to open up for you, get his teammates with him. Value now pushing in, being found by Baden. They're not getting easy access to this B site. There's players sticking in deep. Did get the exchange there with Sneaky, not ideal, but does at least alleviate some of the pressure. But they've got to take down Asterix. He's been up in these buildings the whole time. Marzu's joined him, who was a key player yesterday, and they're just really hammering it home. And they need this. Look at the difference in tickets now. It's getting a little bit closer. They've held it around that 40 marker, and that's perfect for them. If they can keep it 2-1, they'll be very happy here.
And what's also important is they're not dying anymore. I mean, they were getting picked off here and there quite a bit early on without the map, when it was about 120 to about a 70 lead in tickets. But right now, they're trying to die as much. They're keeping that ticket lead, but the ticket deficit, stuck at a certain point, and they're slowly dwindling down Fnatic even more. And 58-41 right now, considering how this game started out, they're looking a lot stronger. It seems like they finally got the footing in this game. But right now, with B being capped over for Fnatic here, they're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah, just remember, Asterix went down. He couldn't provide the cover from top. That's because Fnatic were taking the time. They didn't rush things. They got the opening pick, and that means B is theirs. But the nades are coming in now. They have B and C. They're not even bothering with A at the moment. They don't really have to, but maybe they think, okay, they're going to probably retake that C side. Let's get our full back for that 2-1 hold. As long as we can lock down B, it's so important for these guys at the moment.
Oh, wow.
We are seeing Unfix. He's got in there. He's being that sneaky player, you know what I mean? He's getting around the back. He's being the one to get those sites on his own, reading the play, but they're working out where they are. Even I know it's going to be Asterix up in that building for the opposition. Can he hold on to it, though? That's the question. There's 2 players joining. That's Marzu down, but Asterix will get the avenging kill, and B could swing now. It's depending on the spawns, but already the tickets are getting very low for uMAV. 22.
And Fnatic, I mean, instantly going straight for C. They got their tri-cap back yet again. Just like you said, with Unfix going down out there, they realized we need to cap something else. They go straight for C. They cap that one. They maintain a tri-cap for a little bit longer, and that about 15 ticket advantage that they just had has been opened up completely. Now 51-15. uMAV needs to do something about this here, as they're still barely capping B over right now, but it's almost at the point where this is going to be a huge deficit to come back from into the second half.
At the moment, though, uMAV are in the better positions if they can claim A. They know they need to focus that one out, but already there's players really stopping them in the tracks. 2 players splitting across. We have 1 defensive man at the back, but 7 tickets remaining. They have to make this happen right now to stop the rot. And if they lose out on B as well, they are in dire trouble. They're going for the last-minute ditch attempt of a trip cap. Maybe they can get it, but Unfixed doing the work with that Scar, keeping them back. More comes in. This looks like the kind of last chance corral here. Fnatic have done the damage they needed to right at the end there.
And the thing is, with the amount of kills they just picked up right there, uMAV cannot really afford to respawn anymore. And with that 2-cap coming in and that tri-cap coming in right there, you can see they can't spawn any more in. They're hoping to pick up a couple of kills, maybe take a couple of tickets off Fnatic, but they just can't do that. And we see a 47-0 ticket lead in that first half going in favor of Fnatic. And just like we were saying before, Fnatic have only dropped 1 map out of these 2 cups so far, and that was only to Epsilon. And uMAV, they're looking to maybe upset that. I mean, considering how the game started to me, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been so much worse.
But I think uMAV, they had a very rough start to things, as we noticed, And then they kind of found their footing in their usual gameplay by using those central buildings. But as soon as they did that, Fnatic started reading their game. And as soon as they knew, okay, Asterix plays here, he's generally backed up by Marzu. That means, okay, maybe Delarco's on the flank. They worked out where these guys were. And immediately, that's when they broke out. They went, okay, let's reclaim that B site. Let's clear the houses. Maybe go for C, because we know uMAV aren't completely comfortable there. And boom, there you have it. That's how Fnatic just seem to do things. They learn so fast. But 47 tickets is not impossible to change around at all.
And I think one big thing we need to point out about the ticket deficit that they came down to was look at the kills and deaths of both teams.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. I mean, we've seen so many games last week where Fnatic had, 1 or 2 men, I think Valor like on 25 kills, something ridiculous. They had a lot better kill death ratios, and it seems like uMAV were able to control that a little bit better, but they just got outplayed strategically more than, one-on-one showdowns. And that's what you were saying before about uMAV. They're individually skilled. They're amazing. They just need to get that little bit of extra step to get that synergy within the team working.
I think they're, in my eyes, once their strategy or their usual setup got a little bit worked out, I don't think they had a fallback plan or the adaptation to kind of handle it. That was my only problem with them there. And it takes maybe a couple of days worth of work for them to kind of understand where they want to change and if it'll work for them. So, and credit, Fnatic won the first cup. They got down to 47 tickets. That is fully respectable. That's not impossible. I think one of Fnatic's players did drop out there. I think that's Winghaven missing from the lineup, so I guess they won't be going live. If we can double check with the admins. Yeah, Winghaven dropped. I'm guessing we're not live right now as Sneaky and Co aren't even in yet either. So yeah, they're not going for the usual start. There we go. Winghaven's back, however, so maybe...
Yeah, we'll just get a quick restart on the map and then we'll continue this one out. But, I mean, after this... There's still another exciting match to come because I can't wait to see what Dignitas can do against Epsilon, or what Epsilon can do against Dignitas. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to see is how uMAV cope with Fnatic on their map, which will be Locker. We know
true.
Fnatic are very comfortable there. It's not that they're unbeatable. uMAV have a very strong bit of play on that map, and if you know that your opposition's strongholds, for example, are on a very specific map, you are going to work that out straight away. So it's very hard to retain a favored map, for example, in any way, shape, or form. And just to give you guys an idea of what guns they're running with right now, because we had a lot of questions before, a lot of that muzzle brake coming into use now with the ergo grip or the angled grip. It's just down to preference, I feel, and what you feel comes into your role more. So whether you need to make those long-range picks, so maybe going back to Dawnbreaker, for example, uMAV really enjoyed running along the catwalk on the far right side of the road if you're looking up from C to A. They really enjoyed using that, and they had to use the Scar there. That was probably their game-changing moment to be able to do that, to just shoot over towards B. And there you see it with Unfixed. Still very happy with the muzzle brake as well, using that angle grip. Laser sight, I think, is just down to him wanting a pretty little laser to shine. But
it's a good point you bring up, is the fact, of the gun choices versus their roles, where Valo, he can be kind of like a Slayer, like we were saying before. He can be that man that gets really aggressive, gets into those tight areas. Like, for instance, on Operation Locker, that 1v4 he pulled off, the Ace does fit his style a little bit better because it's got a quicker fire speed, or the Scar's a little bit slower, and that can really be a detriment if you don't have the right gun choice in the right situation.
Yeah, and if you look out into the distance there, I think that was a big shark out. No?
I don't think we're going to see the Megalodon.
Teasing, man.
I actually looked up some videos today trying to see if people have figured it out. There's a couple of things they're working on. That they've heard some unique sounds with blowing up computers or something like that, but nothing sure yet. I want to see it.
It kind of ruined my KDA and accuracy running around those servers.
I don't think that's what ruined your KDA and accuracy.
Whoa, damn. Just 'cause better than you, just calm down. But no, I did love the server hunting, like everyone hopping on and then eventually finding out that T-Rex sound.
I think for 2 days straight you were sitting there in the office just like,
I was working really hard, I think you mean to say.
Well, you were preparing for the show as well. I mean, you were learning the game, but it was...
That was it.
You're like, I'm going to find this. And
just hovering out to the, I think it's northwest side in a helicopter there, waiting to see it at a certain time. It was so sad. But we are having the double restart. We will be going back in, and this time around, let's keep in mind, whatever side uMAV start on, if they drop below 47 tickets, that is map 1 in the hands of Fnatic. Whereas uMAV need to go all the way. There's no two ways about it, really. They've got to really hammer this one home, and it's hard, but maybe they've got a little bit more of a read on Fnatic. They were certainly doing a little bit more damage towards the end of that game, I feel, than at the start. That's no surprise. You warm up a bit better. And, you know, they've got a very capable side. Marzu, Delarco, all these guys are incredibly talented. They just need to be able to make it work. So on the Chinese side, it will be Fnatic in red, and on the blue side, which will be US, it's going to be Team uMAV. So keep your eyes on the tickets remaining for the US team. When that drops below 47, that means they're done in map 1. They'll have to go on to the second map and try and turn it on, well, Fnatic's best choice.
And speaking about teams, I mean, we should probably give them a little bit of an intro just for you guys out there who aren't really familiar with them too much. For uMAV, we have Delarco, Asterix, Baden, Sneaky, and Marsu. And for Fnatic, of course, we have Too Easy, More, Unfixed, Valu, and Winghaven. Just to kind of get your eyes on exactly who is on both of these teams. But let's go ahead and take a look with uMAV here because
I want to see what split they're doing, actually. Can you just go back to the overview? Very interesting from uMAV. Favoring the inside push, going straight to the buildings to focus on B and C, ignoring A. And that is very unique for these guys. Last time around, they went for the split towards that A site as well. But as you can see, they've locked out that B site. They've dealt with the one player there. Going to slightly convert on towards the A site. Nice play coming from Asterix, using that building perfectly. They've got the 2-1 hold. That's what they wanted. They're in the more ideal position in my eyes now.
Let's see if they can maintain that one right now because he's trying to push up with that little bit of aggressive role he's playing here. Does have the ace still in hand. He does get taken out from the side here on uMAV. Actually, was that I'm not sure if that was a team kill. No, that wasn't a team kill. Sorry. I'm just really curious to see what Fnatic can really do to lock down their lead, or maybe we're going to see uMAV finally take control of this game because they're doing a great job of just controlling B and C. They're not worried about hitting A just yet. They realize, you know what, we just keep a 2-1 hold. We're out-aiming them already. We're doing a great job aiming. They have 4 kills to the 2 right now currently on Fnatic.
This is the counterplay, though. Fnatic making the push towards the buildings. That's going to be game-changing, whether or not they can hold on to it. They dealt with the initial threat, and look at that spawn. That's not great, but...
I'm not sure if that was a spawn or just
Winghaven
like roaming really far to the side.
Winghaven. It's the same thing we saw before. It works, but they need to get into those buildings now. They need to start getting these sites back. I know they've got points to play with, but soon enough, it's going to be very real, the fact that the ticket bleed is very much against them. They look like they're considering C at the moment. They've got one player split towards B, but they're very much biding their time. They're being so cautious about clearing these buildings, but Unfix has found one. He's the one who was roaming around the back there by himself, just being the defender almost, using the trenches right at the back. It's a beautifully hard position to break through. But uMAV still keep placing. Here's the counter cap coming from Fnatic. Can they make it count? You look at the positions. Look at these positions from Fnatic. They know where uMAV were, but there's a bit of a counter spawn coming in from uMAV round the backside of C. They could recap this one. Delarco needs to do the damage as the storm is coming in. He's got to do some work because Fnatic have a triple cap against them. Even the frags are going their way, and this is disastrous for uMAV. It's got to happen now, pretty much. They can't allow that ticket bleed to get even anywhere near close to even.
And they are just, the tickets are just dripping point by point right now. You still see that tri-cap coming in. No one's even trying to cap B right now. The one-man Delarco finally capping C right now. As you see, Fnatic still maintaining control of those buildings, Unfixed by himself with that play he does at A. Was able to lock that one down, and they have that 2-1 advantage with B now being contested over for Marsu here. But the damage is kind of done. That's a big morale hit if you get tri-cap like that when you had that 2-1 hold for such a long time.
Yeah, most certainly. And Fnatic are in a dangerous position now. They're in drips and drabs. Oh, that exchange B did just go in uMAV's favor. They do have Asterix up in the building to lock it down, and they've got back in their hold. That's perfect. But I can imagine B will be exchanged shortly if Asterix doesn't get any support. Fnatic have the spawn to come through. They have C in their favor, so they could certainly kind of convert this one. But are they going to focus out straight away? They sometimes fall back to that A plan, but Sneaky's in a good position to challenge them out now, but they're being very... Oh, look at this play. He's going around the world pretty much, just biding his time. He knows where they're coming from. Does take down one. That's Winghaven gone. Here's the man who's dependent on those respawns. That's held them that B side just a little bit longer. Can he keep doing this? Does get the exchange. That's vital. If that went one way rather than the other, that would give them so much favor in those houses.
And you see Fnatic right now. I mean, just look at these spawns they're getting. They are just on the outskirts of the map. That gives uMAV complete control of this B area, and even Delarco just kind of playing a little bit of a roaming role. But with these 2 spawns coming in, and with the 2 spawns on the top side for Fnatic, they're going to make a big hit on A here. And I want to know, are we going to see a big hit coming on C then, as we see Sneaky actually doing just like what his name is, going to be going on the backside. The rest of the team actually pushes up, sandwiches in Too Easy here. If they get this kill on him, then they're going to have that 2 cap back for themselves.
Yeah, and Fnatic pushed uMAV out of those comfy positions. They went for the side that they can't completely see when it's being capped out, so they made them move out of those buildings. They've got a couple of members back in them now off the respawns, but still, that did kind of, shake up Fnatic a bit. It did shake up uMAV, pushing them out of their comfort zone. And now Fnatic want to be focusing on, back towards that A site, making sure it's in their hands. hands, maybe convert it elsewhere. We're gonna see Value up on that C site, capping it out. He's on his own, however, finally gets a little bit of company, but Sneaky is straight onto the matter. Look at that. Oh, he just got a glimpse of Value, got the tag, not the frag. Nade will come out, but already we're seeing uMAV elsewhere picking up these kills and keeping this game very, very close.
And I really like what Fnatic did as well. I mean, during that whole bit of an attack that we saw, is they tried to pull uMAV out of the buildings. And only 1 or 2 men of uMAV actually stayed inside while the rest just really rushed out, try to pick up those kills. But right now, Fnatic have been able to maintain C. We see actually A going back in favor of uMAV. And look at this hold with Baden still there, with Asterix still in these buildings. Value, he doesn't really have a chance of getting B back here.
It's so hard. Look at the fire, literally laying it down at his feet. He's been taken fairly low, healing back up now. But look, it's constant. Wherever you go, you've got Asterix facing you down. He picked up a double then, and he's in the perfect place to keep this going if he can get some more kills. Yes, he can. Nice play. Finally, after 4 players challenging him, he gets picked up again. But that was just beautifully done. Fnatic are really being roped into these bottleneck situations, but they have got the revives.
They're making a big move for these buildings right now.
They have
you
to.
can see.
They have to.
But will they be able to take it back? I mean, that's the real question. You could talk about capping points over and over, as we do see C actually being tagged up a little bit here. But with him going there, did they just give up buildings? Did they just give up control of this game? Because we've seen Fnatic hold tri-caps back before, and they might be able to pull it off here.
Yeah, but uMAV are going to go for the trip cap. This is unbelievable. These guys could be getting C. They've still got Asterix up there. They've still got a couple of players roaming. And I think they're going to get it. They're going to get the trip cap. Look how low those tickets are getting for Fnatic. This means uMAV are in control right now. They can sit back, keep those positions, and they are doing good. There has to be the counter from Fnatic now. They've got to be thinking, okay, we need to get them out of the buildings. How can we negate that? Maybe back to A. A worked before it. Pulled them out of there. That's what they're doing at the moment. Unfix gets in the buildings, they start that counter cap, but they've got to make this work. Good exchange, but not ideal.
It's desperation, though, because Unfixed, with the gun he's using, it's not the prime position for him to really be in, but Mars is sitting in the back of the C right now, trying to fight them off, trying to defend against this, as you see 1 point finally capped over in favor of Fnatic, as they do get A. C will go in favor of them as well, but look at the ticket lead that they've been able to maintain. They have about 60 tickets to play with here before they're actually in threat of being dropped out, and right now, Delarco is trying to make his way into C, trying to take this one back. They realize, you know, guys, with a big lead, there's only 30 tickets remaining on the other team. Let's play this one smart. Let's play this one safe. Let's not rush into anything. And as you see, Marcia working around one side. We see Delarco working on the other side. Valo actually takes him down, defending onto C, but who knows for how long.
That was brave play as well, from uMAV. This is what they have to do now. They've got to go that extra mile. Fnatic get dangerous when their backs are to the wall, and we are seeing, well, A and C being contested. You're watching right now that C point being kind of challenged and taken down by Marzu. Really close kill, and my god, this could go all the way. Can this be a trip cack at the end? They've got all points under control. Fnatic, what just happened? This is unbelievable to watch. This is Fnatic struggling, a rare sight, but uMAV, Dogbert said it, they're going to be a team to really start pushing the big dogs. They're already doing it. Yes, this was their map, but beautifully played on the second half. 12 tickets remaining. Fnatic, they've got to do something magical if they want it now.
And we have to look at both sides of the scoreboard real quick. 45 kills in favor of uMAV right now, 30 in favor of Fnatic. They actually got, I think it was a 4-man kill on that last bit of a tri-cut that they pulled off, giving them this advantage. 5 tickets remaining in favor of uMAV here, and Fnatic, they're going for anything they possibly can. Wehaven gets taken from the buildings. 3 tickets left to go here. Valor trying to cap C as quick as he possibly can, but that's it.
Wow. That is a rare sight to see, ladies and gentlemen, but uMAV, they adapted, they knew what they had to do, they reclaimed those buildings, they put Asterix in a better position, and they just hammered it home. Those trip caps coming out were insane. Look at that, Lil killed to death there. That explains everything to me. Okay, Delarco was more of the sneaky player, you know, he was around the back, he was always on the flank, smart play, 8-8, Baden, 7-6. Didn't get too involved, but he was supporting within those buildings. Marzu and Asterix, we know those two are the guys playing from there, 12-4, 11-6. Extraordinarily well played. Fnatic, very quiet on the kill side. It's so hard to break into those buildings, you know what I mean? There's no way you can, it's, you know, even just aiming upwards rather than aiming downwards. It's just, you know, the vertical advantage you have alone can gift you that, and Fnatic felt the brunt of it.
The thing is, they tried so many times to get them out of the buildings. You know, we talked about one spawn that was between C and A, where they were over there. They tried to lure them out.
It's a good play.
It worked pretty well, but they didn't take the buildings right after. They went for the points instead, and because of that, uMAV were able to keep control of that. And then you think about their 3-4 men rush into the buildings. It was like a desperation play to lock that down, to take it back, and they even still weren't able to do it then, because I believe it was Asterix picked up 4 kills before he was taken down.
That's unbelievable. That's something you've got to be proud of. You know, it's normally Value we see doing stuff like that, being the player to just power in, bully his way into the sites and control it. that was just smart play coming out from Asterix. He knew he would be the player, the linchpin almost, that they started,
I've never heard that term before.
linchpin?
But go on.
Okay, a linchpin is basically the integral piece.
Oh,
so
okay.
if he fell, for example, that means those buildings are open.
Right.
There's Marzu there, don't get me wrong, but it's Asterix who was that key player.
He lived in the buildings both halves.
He pretty much did, and he made it count even more in that second half. I think we can all kind of agree on that one. Really showed his worth there. And it was just, 4 players it took from Fnatic to even try and take him down, and he still got revived at the end of it. So, we saw when we were watching Value how much pressure they were under when they even just tried to challenge those buildings or go to the B site. And there's very few ways for them to get around that. You can't change the way the game plays out when someone gets a higher advantage than you just vertically. You can't, it's so hard to break.
Oh, vertically higher.
Wow, height jokes.
But the question is, right now,
cruel, man.
as uMAV, they did a great job. I don't want to say this is... Oh, this is actually live. All right, so we're just going straight into it here. If I remember the key that you have for this, it's that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and they even have the right sides. But we are going to be on Operation Lock here for the second game in this... the second map in this. Sorry, go on.
It's just the interesting start there. Normally we see 2 players split outside towards C. This time uMAV only going for 1, completely focusing out the counter push down towards that B site. These guys are pumped up. They're looking aggressive now.
Wow, let's see what they can really pull this one off, because this is Operation Locker. This is the map that Fnatic really thrives on. We have a tri-cap already coming in here as Fnatic trying to fight their way back into B, and they already do have it finally capping over, but no, the kills are just coming in. Look at the kill score. 8 kills for uMAV, 1 kill for Fnatic. They are getting shut out completely.
They've been pushed all the way back to that awful spawn you just get absolutely hammered into, and they are playing from the baseline right now. uMAV, I'm sorry, I had to kind of stop you at the start. To see them just going flat out was unbelievable, but they've kind of negated the fact that Fnatic will get that back spawn. That is critical here. They have to cap out the A site, quickly go back for C, and get Fnatic back in their comfort zone of the AC hold. But already, uMAV looking to counter it. A little bit sloppy play from Asterix. They're not expecting a counter push. We know that 2easy happily does that, but that counterplay onto A is the big one in my eyes. Right now, Value, I'm pretty sure he can handle himself. He's going to be coming around unexpected, but Baden's got himself into A. He's got 2easy in a corner here. He's going to be nading out. He gets the spam, but can he deal with the other threat that's pushed in? He gets the exchange. He's got help coming in. uMAV are going to claim A, hold B, and they might get C as well.
Until Arco, he somehow just got behind him from that B side. Does get taken down, but they still apply the pressure. Looks like Fnatic going to be able to cap B here, but look at this. uMAV already going in for a straight sandwich right now. Sneaky coming around from the backside. If he can pick up a kill or 2 here, they might be able to gain control of B and might be able to get that ticket lead a little bit further for themselves. Oh, look at that grenade on a 2easy. He has him red onto a T, but they haven't gotten B just yet.
Yeah, but it's a matter of time. That B site, it's great to have in the bag, but it's so out of the place, and Sneaky's just capping it through. So that's going to be another 2-1 hold favor into uMAV, and they've just pushed Fnatic so out of their comfort zone. They weren't scared of them. They weren't scared of the name, of the reputation. They just went, okay, guys, we know what you're up to. That's fine. We'll challenge you flat out. And they're doing it. Unfix taken down to 1 HP, and that's not gone well, really, has it? Maybe for the respawn, they're trying to be back with his teammates who are in on the A site. Big cap out point for them. They need to get the A C hold. That's where they're comfortable. That's their game style. But uMAV know that as well as I do now, and they're making that counterplay as we speak.
Is it me, or does it seem like Fnatic is playing not scared and unsure of what's happening? I mean, they're usually when they have a plan, they stick to it. They go straight after it, and they just make it happen. Well. Yeah, I mean, you have 3 men on Fnatic over on the side, actually 4 of them, slowly working into A. They're not even just rushing in there like they normally would, and it shows a lot of respect towards uMAV and how well they played in that first map on Paracel Storm. But they're finally making the move on A. They're going to be able to take that one back here, and we have 2 men on uMAV already instantly going over towards C. Yeah,
but I've got to say credit to Fnatic there. They really got that execution timing down. The nades being spammed through to the infirmary, the push in. Now they've got their hands back on C and A. This is where they'll see them start getting back to their control zone, where they can go, okay, we've got what we want. Let's not overdo this. Let's not rush. Let's start playing our game. And they need to hold that mid cross here. Value's comfortable, but let's spin over to mid. And they've got no one watching. They're playing so passive and so scared and so off their game that they're depending on one man to pretty much lock down this entire corridor. uMAV are going to be able to set up for that split they love, a 2-1 push. Value in a great position right down the end then. Does pick up 1, but Asterix can still escape, and we might see a counterplay onto that A site now because the teammates are being able to push in, but still, it's a bit close. They've still got, look how much they've actually, submitted here. This is Fnatic going very serious. This is them now going lockdown mode because they have to. 3 on A, 2 on C. This is their kind of fullback setup here.
And I really want to know what 2easy is really going to be doing. Is he going to be rotating around, even Value watching from over here, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
Actually, I'm not sure what's happened. I can't actually see first person. There we go. Finally coming in. Asterix gonna be working in towards A here. Looking to take that one back. And even with all this happening, even with that tri-cap that we saw uMAV pick up, they're not up that many tickets anymore. And that's just Fnatic. They started to pick up the kills. They finally have a kill lead actually for themselves after being down over, I believe, 10 kills. And they've built up a lead. They've actually taken a lead here finally.
Yeah, and I've got to give credit to players like Valo in this situation who are playing that far back role. Usually we saw him down the end of the long alley almost.
Like
He was right down the back, yeah. That's where you can really control the pace. uMAV like to go for their 2-2 splits, maybe leaving one out to mid. And right now they're being mowed down. Fnatic know it. We are seeing a little bit of an interesting thing with the spectator here. It's not letting us go first person.
Can't actually watch anyone.
Okay, that's interesting. Can we go third person or free cam?
Can't go third person.
Huh.
You know what? I'm about to break out the free cam. Can't even break out the free cam. We're gonna watch from overview.
All right, guys, we do apologize. Maybe try now.
Okay, let's. I don't know what that was, but.
There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
The game was like, no, Jace, you're not going free cam. We'll make first person work again.
Yeah, but in what we missed there, uMAV finally got the penetration in the split that they wanted towards the A site. What is going on here? Okay, we might need to kind of try a reconnect at some point because this is clearly not enjoying us trying to spectate.
I will go back to free cam game if you don't give us something to watch. Yeah, that's right. You listen to me as we finally lock in on Asterix right there. But either way, with what's been happening, it's been a little bit crazy with that little bit of a bug coming in. But Fnatic have been able to maintain the hold on A and C. They've been able to take A back. They have a tick lead over 20 right now. And they are starting to look like the Fnatic that we expected to see coming into Operation Longer. After uMAV throwing them off their game for a little bit in the beginning, they finally gained that control back.
Yeah, too easy, and Valu, we're seeing it again. This bug is not cool. Not cool, bug.
Maybe I should threaten it to go free cam again?
No. Okay, at the end of the game...
I say free cam, it's like...
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, at the end of the game, we will try and sort that out. I'm not sure what it is. It might be a spectator bug, but okay, let's kind of break this one down. uMAV are pretty much smashing their head against a brick wall.
How does that happen?
Right now, Asterix finally broke through. That's the first time they've actually been able to make any sort of headway towards the A site. Balance has been taken down. They're probably going to wait on the respawn. That's why Asterix will play slowly here. They're going to have to. There's no way they can do anything here. Valu's just going to push forward. Beautiful read. He knew that the flag wasn't being capped out. He knew they were playing for the respawns, but can he hold on to this? No. Finally, Sneaky shuts him down, and A will eventually swing back over to uMAV. But the damage was done. uMVic's already on the counterplay. This is beautiful stuff to watch.
And Asterix going there to stop them as well. It's going to be a 1-on-2 though for this. He's going to be able to pick up more, but can he get the second kill? Doesn't look like that's going to happen just yet, but it does allow time for his team to respawn towards his backside here and maybe take B back. But look at the tickets, 81-34. Fnatic's been doing a phenomenal job of getting back in this game and really bringing it back to themselves, because if they lose this map, they're out of semifinals, and they are the reigning champions currently as the winners of Cup #1.
Yeah, and everyone knows the reputation that comes along with Fnatic, and them to turn around that trip cap at the start is just beautiful to watch. They are going to be going for the interesting hold here from uMAV. They're kind of cutting their losses almost. They're not going for the idea. Well, they're going to lose out on A. So they went back to the BC hold rather than challenging out. Maybe going to try and lock down mid, but they need to win these exchanges with Valu right now, because he's going to be a key player at being a pest in this situation. And he's going to allow that mid spawn to come through for Fnatic, and they can make a play wherever they want now. He's just been pretty much a solo incredible player. There's the respawn I was saying about. Sneaky still trying to cause trouble, but they're pushed out. Fnatic have spread them away from the comfort zone. They're just locked down to C now. It's not ideal.
As we do see two members of uMAV, as actually the Scar, we heard it. We didn't see it from uMVic, actually picking up that kill on the Baton here across that range of C. I'm still looking around for first person to join here, but we'll just watch the overview. And actually, honestly, I kind of like this a little bit better because you can see what everyone's doing. But currently, right now, uMAV going to be working out towards C a little bit. We do see Baton trying to contest A as we have the respawns coming in, but look at this, Sneaky coming on from the backside, looking to pick up a kill or two on a Valu. Actually gets him, but gets taken down by Valu. But they do cap B back. There we go. We can finally see something here, only on Asterix though. So we'll watch that. Actually, I don't even know if we should watch that because we can't see what's going down over at A.
And the important factor is
attacking it.
uMAV are down to 5 tickets. It's bleeding, and this is a last-ditch attempt to try and stop that and maybe chip a couple of points away. But it's only a matter of time for Fnatic to make the counterplay towards B if they had to, and they know that, and they're happening right now. But look at Asterix right behind them, hot on their heels, picks up Valu, but it's too little, too late. 1 ticket remaining. B is vital here. He's got to stop this. He's not going to be able to do it, and we will be seeing a 2-1 hold in favor to Fnatic and claiming, well, 59 tickets in their favor.
Oh, great job by them. Considering how that game started, it was so out of their hands, but they finally grasped it back, able to pull this one back. And we have to say, it's mostly in the hands. Oh, I was going to share the scoreboard, but we're not going to share the scoreboard. So we're just going to come back to us and show you our pretty faces here as we're actually going to tell the admins we want to reconnect because something was going on.
Yeah.
Something was a little bit fishy.
Make sure we close that as well so we can use the escape key. It's always a bonus. So yeah, a little bit of a tricky one to analyze then because, well, uMAV came out to a flying start. Perfect play. Played smart, went aggressive. They didn't go for the normal exchange on the C site. They claimed that one very quickly with one player eventually. And then they just came back around and played it perfectly, you know, towards B, towards A. They got B essentially off the spawn, but they went straight up for the challenge, pretty much. They just didn't hold back. And that was a kind of rarity that you generally don't see against big teams like Fnatic. Fear of the name is such a big thing in FPS games, especially. It's, you know, when you're playing against people like Dignitas or Epsilon, it's very hard to play a normal game because you're thinking, okay, these guys are awesome at this game. How do we play our game yet keep it in mind?
You can't go into a game with the mindset of already being defeated.
No,
by
you
a
certainly
team's name.
can't. But it's very hard to overcome it. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to kind of deal with that sort of
What would I do
pressure.
without you, Fancy?
uMAV are certainly stepping up their game here. You know, let's bear in mind this is not far off what we saw in the first map. A 47-point advantage to Fnatic. Now it's 59. Now, if they could have kind of locked out or made a quicker push towards the A-hole towards the end, because, you know, Valor was just being perfect down the end of that massive corridor by the grated gates at the back there, just making it really hard work. The perfect read on the play coming from Asterix as well once you go into that corridor. Just the individual talent on that moment alone was sensational, but... You know,
I don't understand how that happened.
It's unreal.
I think that kind of shows you what's happening within Fnatic because he just ran around that corner. He was already spotted coming in there, but he just got in there, was able to get the kill on the Mort, I believe that was, and just take A himself. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on with Fnatic. Maybe it's just a little bit of an off day for them or something. But they're, at least to me, they're not playing like the team we saw back in Cup 1. But that also might be just uMAV completely stepping up to the plate and really doing well.
Yeah, I think it's uMAV. I don't think anyone can doubt them at the moment. They are a really solid team. They're... You know, Dogba even tipped them to be the one to step up and challenge people like Epsilon, Dignitas, and Fnatic, and probably one of the better teams towards the later cups. So, certainly worth keeping your eyes on their performance throughout the next couple of cups. And I think it's very hard to ignore because they're consistently getting through to these points, you know, into the semi-finals, into the quarters. And I think we are just waiting on us to join the server, so it will be underway very, very quickly. We did obviously have a bit of a spec issue then. I think you guys probably noticed that when we couldn't go first person. But we'll be back in server in just a moment.
I really wanted to show the scoreboard of that last game too because Valu, I mean, just because we have to remind you how the game started. 8-1 in kills in favor of uMAV off the bat within the first 30 seconds. Then they had, I think it was like 19-9 in favor of kills for themselves.
Yep.
But then we finally saw Fnatic after about 5 minutes, finally got control back to get the kill lead for themselves finally. And at that point, when they actually swung over in kill lead, they swung over in ticket lead as well. So it kind of showed they finally seemed to get their foot in the door in the game and finally pull that back. How many tickets did they end up with? It was 59?
59, yeah.
59. So it's not impossible for uMAV to do it, as we just saw on Paracel Storm, where they overcame them in style. But Operation Locker is their map, is Fnatic's map, and uMAV, they're one map away of getting into the grand finals of Cup number 2.
That's going to be a big boost for them as well. They know they've got the third map if they have to, but this, you know, and they're very, very solid on Zavod, so... But in my eyes, you know, they're still very strong here. If they can work out, you know, maybe a bit of a better play towards the A site, then they should be fine.
Oh, we're just waiting for the game to actually get... There it is. Admin's going to be restarting the half for us. We'll get underway here. This is the second map here for the EMS 1 Battlefield 4 Cup number 2 semifinals. And uMAV, the first team and only team so far at the A Series to actually get into semifinals, looking to kind of get to that point and really show that there's a lot of other good teams out there in the A Series that these top dogs, these top 12 teams have to look out for.
Yeah, and that was my point towards the start of when we began watching Battlefield, is the fact that there will be a lot of top-tier teams coming in and really shaking things up. You know, the maybe not you'd expect to be of that sort of caliber, but they certainly are. And, well, uMAV are the first to really rise. They weren't one of the main teams, as you mentioned, but they're doing the work anyway. They're certainly becoming a big player in this season so far.
And that's what's so great to me about the whole Gopher series and the EMS series is that it finally gives like a competitive portal for all these players to play at. And when that happens, things start changing. We start seeing new guns used. We start seeing new strategies. We start seeing teams, figure out how these other teams work. And everyone, the skill gap actually closes very, very fast. And we're seeing that here with cut number 2. And I really want to see when we get to these group stages and then the offline finals here at the ESL TV studios, how different things are. Because, Fnatic, I mean, there's a lot of teams like Fnatic, Dignitas, even Eyeballers, Nature Makers, of the top teams when you think about, competitive Battlefield 4. But then uMAV coming out of nowhere. If they pull up an upset here, taking out Fnatic, I mean, you might have to add another team to the list.
Yeah, you're certainly going to have to. So let's keep in mind which team's on which side. For Fnatic, they will be on the Russian side. On the US side, it will be uMAV. So if uMAV, i.e. the ones at the top left, the American team, drop below 59 tickets, they are going to be going to a third map here. So, straight away, let's get into the game.
All right, well, let's see if... well, I just want to see... I'm just saying the overview just to see how they kind of play this one. As Marsu could be the only man working out towards C. We have Asterix fighting out against Sport here, trying to defend this middle area, and which Fnatic is doing a lot better of a job of holding on to, as we do finally see a push on the outside does work. But right now, uMAV, they didn't look as strong as they did overall on that Russian side. Not at all.
Yeah, they couldn't make the quick play. Mid was immediately held by Fnatic. They pushed out a good couple of players, and that's the bonus of having C, and they can play it straight through the kind of corridor there. So Valo too easy, really enjoying that fact. Delarco, pretty much the last man standing, does find too easy, just chilling out in a bit of a cell there, and he does manage not to convert it, sadly, but he did get the revive. But Mort should be cleaning up, but no, Asterix is still there. They're powering through mid. They just have to break through this. They might decide to go for a split towards the outside C area to make sure people like Unfixed are constantly pressured, or, well, you can just take him down like that and allow Sneaky to push through because there's no one covering the top side.
Look at the split, though, we're seeing right now to uMAV. Sitting 2 around the backside, and you even see Fnatic immediately response with Winghaven come around the back, taking out those 2 kills, and that actually might have just secured them the hold onto A. That could have been completely different if they were allowed to get around the backside as well, pushing from the front at the same time. But right now, uMAV, they're trying to do the same thing with Delarco here, but look at this 3-man squad. It's usually 2 people. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's say usually 2 people you see, but Unfixed and Mort trying to make a push on C here to lock that one down.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious to see if uMAV can hold this. They haven't been as dominant as holding that mid line. Well, they're doing the damage, they're keeping them further back, and all they have to do is stay alive pretty much. It's a lot easier to hold that close push, especially with the guns they're running with. And they know they've got cover through mid for now at least, and well, as soon as that's eliminated, we're going to see a push, and that's too easy, just charging on through. There's no players to support through mid as they made that push towards A. So, well, uMAV need to be a bit careful, but we are seeing possibly, a good hold coming out from these guys, but can they really keep it? That's the big thing in my eyes here.
Well, unfortunately, they'll be able to keep B because Fnatic did get it back, so as we saw uMAV finally respawn towards the backside as well. They're actually going to lose C here at the same time as losing B, and how are they going to respond to this? And the man, we're going to take a look at Isbaden here. Is he going to push into B? Is he going to try to contest this one? Or is he just going to wait this one out? Maybe wait for someone Fnatic to push against him, and then from that, pick up those kills, swing around to B, grab that, lock it down, and right now it's actually already being attacked here over for the US side. Sneaky Lead is a man that's actually close up to capping it over, and it looks like he got the kill on Avalu, and with that, it looks like they will be able to cap B here, and C's even being contested at the same time by Fnatic. So they're going to get the 2 cap, but this is not the ideal 2 cap you want to have.
Yeah, not at all, because you can already see the split coming in from Fnatic. Value around the back there, and a couple splitting through mid. If they find that execution at the same time towards A, they should be in a good spot, but they know there's a lot of players present. Nice little setup nade being set out there by Valu, but the nades are coming in retort. Asterix dealing with his teammates, but can they do anything to stop this? Baden just pushing out, getting aggressive, taking down Valu, eliminating some of the threat onto A. Now pretty much just Winghaven around the back here. He's going to have to play a little bit more carefully if he wants those respawns coming in towards him. They will be getting those respawns in, but look at Delarco reading it perfectly, expecting the play around the back. Can he get these kills? Asterix still trying to be the man defending the A site. He's doing well, but Delarco's doing the same. Now there's no player being the anchor around the back. They're taking them down one by one. This is really well played from uMAV, but they've got to hold on to this site. Unfix is in there, as is a couple of others, and they just can't hold on to it right now.
And they just capped the flag from being just inside that corridor, and uMAV had to kind of stop here. You see they're wondering, why is it capped over? We need to make some kills happen here. Marsu's going to charge in. It looks like himself here. Gets the kill on the mark. Looking for Unfix. Gets it as well. Picks up the 2-piece right there. And with that, they do maintain, or will get actually control of A back and maintain that 2 cap right now. And even uMAV coming around the backside with Sneaky, able to maintain B here yet again. But again, I said again a lot, this isn't the 2 sites that you actually want to hold on to too well. You want to be able to control C and one of A and B at the same time. And Asterix, he's trying to make that happen here. We might even see a tri-cap come in if Fnatic don't respond quick enough.
I think they'll have to... Okay, they're going for the aggressive A play. They're not going to go for the fullback B. They're probably going to start the push at the same time eventually. Delarco trying to be the last bastion for uMAV here. Going to be spamming out those nades, keeping them back as long as possible to get some, well, backup in any way, shape, or form. He's finally got it from Sneaky coming in. And there we go. A should stay in the hands of uMAV for now, but can they keep hold of that 2-1? B side now being defended. C being countercapped out by Fnatic. It's all depending on where these flags go, because at the moment, uMAV are holding strong. 105 to 78. Let's bear in mind, they've got, about 50 tickets to keep hold of here before they kind of lose out on this one.
And Unfixed alone picked up 2 kills right there. That just completely opened up that B side to be taken. So they get the 2-1 cap for themselves here. We see Valo actually working around on top right now of one man of uMAV. He does see the cap coming over. He wants to look for the kill here. He's going to spell Delarco. Nothing going to come in response out of him. And they will control B a little bit longer here. A is the only side that's being held on for uMAV. And Fnatic have been doing a great job of kind of countering uMAV's aggressive style with their own aggressive style themselves.
Yeah, and I'm always curious when uMAV or any team goes for the A-B hold, just because there's always that random spawn right at the back of B that can pretty much gift it to the other team if you start, really locking them down. But uMAV are starting to work it back here. They've got some good kind of access towards the site, working out the players one by one, but they've got to do a clean sweep almost to gain that access. Marzu has got himself down there, but those tickets are getting a little bit low. Yes, they're in the lead if you look at it on paper value, but overall they've got that 59 ticket deficit. So, oh wow, 4-man push from Fnatic coming towards that C site. That's because uMAV are going for the trip cap at the moment. They want to get as many tickets as possible. Oh, lovely double coming in for Delarco there, but he finally gets taken down, but he held them up so damn long. And Sneaky's here in the background. Can he make the kill count? Yes, he can. That's going to be a trip cap for uMAV unless B very quickly comes back in favor to Fnatic.
And we see Value's trying to defend against it here. Even pull out the pistol against Delarco. He's going to get the kill on top of him, so they will be able to maintain, or at least get control of beat back, but not before the damage is done and before that tri-cap comes into effect with a 77 to 57 ticket lead in favor of uMAV currently.
Now we do see uMAV with the ideal sites, A and C, but can they hold mid? They're going to try to, but Valu pushing in, picking up one, doesn't get the double, however, and that will at least leave a little bit of access, but have they overly pushed? They've allowed 2easy round the back. Do they know he's here? Baden needs to stop him, and he does it. This could be the turning point now. They've got to hold a 2-1 at all points, but this is so damn close. They lose out for a second. Those tickets are going to slip, and 59 is not far away from 72.
It's really not. I mean, they need to put in the work right now. You can see them kind of scattering, trying to pick up anything they possibly can right now. And the kills, 41 to 42, pretty much dead even for both these teams. And currently, it's kind of in a quiet period. But that's because Fnatic, they're going for a 3-man attack on this A side here. And Baden, he's just watching the back. And when this starts getting capped over, he's going to start rotating. He's going to actually get to flank them completely.
And Value's in on the site. No players contesting. Where's the C push going out from uMAV? They've got to make something counter happen here. They cannot lose out at a 2-1 in this instance. They need to hold on. Baden trying to come back around, trying to find the way through, but it's a 2-1 in favor to Fnatic, and this spells trouble. They're going to get pretty darn low now. 68 tickets. Remember, it's 59 is the key number here. They're not gaining back towards the sites, and it's almost over unless they can do this in the last couple of seconds and get that 2-1 hold again. But this is dire, dire times. Marzu doing everything he can to convert the B site, and they might just have stopped the rot for a second.
They did, and more actually exchanging with Delarco there. Both of them going down. Fnatic going to be able to cap over A here, but the tickets, they're just falling one by one, even with unfixed control in C. He's playing an anchor role here, just trying to maintain control of C with that Scar. And you see uMAV, they're trying to scatter, they're trying to make a play onto A right here, but it's too late. They do go down, and that will mean we will see a map number 3.
Yeah, we're going to see another map here. I don't know what to say about that. It's just, uMAV tried everything they could on the second half there. They played really well, really smart. They were countering the pushes they were seeing very early on. But, at the end, when you're on such a tight kind of marker to make sure you maintain, it's so hard to retain a 2-1 hold at all times. There's always going to be a counterplay, and when you saw Fnatic come around the back of A then, really well executed kind of push, so hard to hold on to.
I feel like that one spot at Baton, who was at A, and he was just sitting in that corner in that little bit of a hallway, that corridor, watching everyone come through. He actually, instead of coming to support his team, killing Valor from the backside, who wasn't even looking at him, he went around through the spawn, came in through the back towards the medical area, and because of that, he let the point slip over. It allowed Fnatic to get some better respawns, and 2easy was able to even get the 1-for-1 trade right there. So I don't know. I think that could have maybe changed things a little bit. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, and I'm obviously a pro player, so I can't really count on my opinion. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, obviously things could change, but we will be going to map number 3, which will be on Zavod, if I remember correctly.
I mean, I
That
already
is an
know
interesting
uMAV
map.
are pretty strong on that map as well. We saw that they're good at maintaining set spots almost. If we look back to the first map when they got set up in the buildings, that's when they kind of come into their own. I always feel that Operation Lock is a little bit more fluid, so that's why you see maybe teams like Fnatic always doing well. Epsilon, you've got a good strong hold on it. But Zavod, it can be more set up. Let's say you get C and B, for example. It's a very close kind of range site. If you get set up on those, force them down to just A, you've got a good chance set up here. And I think that's what we've seen uMAV go for. If they get the initial hold onto B, it'll be a good exchange between them and Fnatic. But if they get the C-B hold straight up, they'll have a good chunk of time on there, I can imagine.
What's funny about Zavod compared to Operation Locker is that A in Zavod is the same thing as C in Operation Locker. It's a site you take when you can, and you just kind of leave it there by itself because it's the farthest away from B. But C and B, since you're saying so close to each other, you take those two, and you kind of just focus your fire in one direction, stop them from crossing that line across the map. You can really hold on to it. But one thing that's great about Zavod, though, that doesn't allow you to do that is there's so many ways you could enter C. There's so many ways you can get to B, and it's really hard to hold those down. Only the best teams can really do that, which Dignitas is one of those teams we've actually seen do it so far.
Yeah, most certainly. I do believe they're not live on the map changer, so we'll be going live in just a moment once they're all in and set up. But yeah, it's an interesting map, Zavod.
I guess we can kind of go in the map and just show you some of the spots if I can get the right team's side. Oh, that could have been bad. I hit 2 buttons at once.
Don't confuse XSplit like this. But yeah, A is really hard to hold in my eyes. I think C, you can get a little bit better set up on if you hold B, for example. So those two sites complement each other perfectly and they supplement each other. Whereas A, as you mentioned, it's so far away. It's not exactly native to anything. B, as you can see, it's so close to that C site. But A, let's go back to it. I'm sorry, Jason. I was trying to help you out there,
You're driving me
buddy.
crazy
Dude,
at the
I was
camera.
trying to help you out there, but there's no easy...
But C, let's talk. I mean, go ahead.
Okay, but
Sorry,
look, A is so far away. Even though it's quite a close range map, once you're there, it doesn't have any easy routes to any sites. The cross from A to B, for example, is a hell of a lot longer from the cross to from C. And yes, you have the underground passage, but it's still not ideal. There's so many choke points you can get held at. It's very easy to sit in C at the bottom of the site and just kind of mow them down as they come in. It's quite simple to play. As you can see, they're just underneath the tank track kind of things. But yeah, it's not an easy push.
If I remember correctly, back when we saw Fnatic playing this map, Winghaven, whenever they got control of A, he would always play in this area. Like, he would always sit towards the backside of A. He would actually let the other team come in, start capping it, then come in and pair the kills. If one of his teammates was dead, they'd respawn top of him. They go in as a 2-man squad. And Fnatic definitely pushed. Well, oops, sorry. They definitely pushed, and as you see, most teams for that BC site. But I want to see what happens this time. uMAV, I haven't been able to put my finger on them completely because they just play it like a little bit of a crazy style. Where if you look at, on Paracel Storm, I didn't really expect them to be able to hold on to those buildings so well and then respond to Fnatic trying to apply pressure, trying to lure them out, and be able to do it so well. I really want to see how they hold on to this spot because we haven't had the pleasure of seeing uMAV play too much. We've seen them, I believe, once yesterday when you were doing that against Team Refuse, and then I think we saw maybe once at cut number 1, but that's just about it so far.
Yeah, they're certainly not like a regular team to our eyes, but yeah, to me, it's whoever can hold down that BC site. And Fnatic are great at this map, don't get me wrong. Individually, they're incredible. As you said, Winghaven's playstyle really comes into its own here. He can be that roaming player on occasion, just play back, play smart, using the surroundings perfectly. He doesn't necessarily go for the flat-out challenges. He'll watch the cross, watch the push. And it's like on A, for example, I remember seeing the tank that used to sit on the... just kind of revolutionized it a little bit in my eyes. Just outside these windows on the right, if you go down a little bit there...
I can make it.
No, Jason. Jason, no, you can't. All right, so let's...
This is difficult, okay? It's difficult sometimes. Oh, wait, I can just slow it down. There we go. I believe this tank you're talking about?
No.
This tank?
No.
This tank.
Okay, look. Let's
tank?
give me the control.
Okay, let's give you the controls.
Okay, well, it's part of a tank. Maybe I was a... So basically, you can get up on here,
That's
destroy
not a
those
tank.
windows, and then you can shoot through straight towards the A site. So, and he was one of the first players I saw really using that, and it was such an important thing. I saw a couple of other teams now incorporating it too. And it's, every little kind of new spot that comes out, it's the immediate kind of, okay, we saw these guys doing it, let's use it as well. Like, there was a boost on Dawnbreaker that got used, where they spawned by A. They boosted on top of each other, got the quicker spawn over, and, well, the quicker route towards B and A, and it was really good to watch. And, uMAV are quite an ingenious team when it comes to that. At times, they can happily adapt their play, but as can Fnatic. But Fnatic are more, I'd say, strong in that aspect that they can kind of really lock down these holds and play smart. So, I think it's all about the beginning in my eyes, who gets that strongest start, and things can turn. Don't get me wrong, things can really swing either way. But Fnatic, I think Fnatic will get the better start here, ideally.
I feel like they might be the stronger team on this map, but I mean, I didn't think it really happened. That's what's so nice about Battlefield 4 so far right now, is that you can't really say for sure this team will win over this team. We've seen so many upsets in the past. I'm trying to actually think back to any in particular I can think of.
Well, Eyeballers
yeah, there you go.
underperforming
Yeah,
drastically
Eyeballers.
the whole time.
Yeah.
They've been, I really like them at the start. They were a great team that we got to see in one of the cups, and I think it was one of the Go4s
Yeah,
that we
that was
got to do.
the best team we probably saw at the time.
Yeah. And it's got to the EMS 1, and they've been very quiet. I don't think they've made it through to a quarterfinals yet. And they've had team changes, they've had lineup changes, and it's clearly affecting them. And it's strange to see such an impact so early on in specific teams, that it really does kind of challenge them as they are. What the hell was that sound?
I don't know. The echo of someone dying.
It was weird because we're watching Too Easy, who's quite drastically alive.
There we go. So I was actually just waiting for the map or the restart to come in so we actually get this game underway. If I'm not mistaken, actually the other best of three, semifinal is actually being done, or was actually being broadcast at the same time as this one, if I remember correctly. I remember seeing that in the chat or the Skype chat. I'm not sure if that's actually completely true. Don't quote me on that one, but we'll see. Actually, I'll ask after this to see what's actually happening on that one. I don't even know why I mentioned it. I was just like, if you guys are interested, you can check out that one over there. But anyways, so we're getting underway here, Pansy. Stop looking at me so weird.
Alright, so on the US side, it will be Fnatic, and on the Russians, it's going to be uMAV. Now, I'd personally say, in my opinion, I've always seen a lot of easier initial takes from stop pressing tab, the US side. I think they may be closer on the Russian team, but I feel as though the US team can get a little bit of a better position for B. We'll see how that goes down. Certainly an easier spawn for C for the US team, so they should initially get that. Maybe a 1 or 2 man split towards A, the rest focus on the B site for the Russians. And let's see how it goes down, because we are live.
Wow,
They're going A. Whoa. US team are ignoring B. Okay, they're finally coming across. They had a big presence there, though. They're not going for the initial exchange like we normally see.
Yeah, actually very different from both these teams here, but Too Easy watching that mid-cross, looking for something here, is actually going to be attacking A by himself. Actually just get taken down by Marcer right there, so that is shut down, but B actually being contested over quite heavily, and Del Arco, we've seen this actually done many times, going on the very far backside, wait to actually catch out a couple of people of the other team, get those kills, and really bring that one home. But Fnatic getting the early 2-cap because of that US side, and uMAV, they have a hill to climb right now.
Yeah, uMAV are breaking through, though. We're seeing Sneaky push in from underneath C. He's picked up the kill onto Unfixed, and he might be able to convert this cap point. Now, I'm kind of curious. There's already players over for Fnatic by A, but A-B hold, not ideal at all, and they're going to be losing out on B. This should be a 2-1 hold in favor to uMAV on C and B. Delarco's the one converting that site, so already in a great position, but the counter push coming from Fnatic may be unexpected. It's from the C site, which, they have in their hands, so they might be a little bit shaken once these two rear their ugly heads and get round towards that section. Delarco's found one, but here comes that counter cap. We are seeing this going down. A also being contested out at the moment. They may be going back to their safety zone here because they've been bullied out of B. They might have to go back to A now.
Yeah, we will have that 2-cap swap back in favor of uMAV here, as they do have enough men to cap this over very, very quickly, and they do send the rest of the men over towards C. They got picked up a kill here. I don't know who that was onto, but you see how many resources Fnatic committed onto that B site, and with Sticky coming up from the side here, he's looking to pick up actually a couple of kills. He could pick up quite a few here if he pulls his flank off perfectly, and that might be able to gain them or maintain control of C. He does look for one, does get that one. There's actually a man to his left. He's actually looking for the kill, but Valu, being in the right place at the right time, gets that one, and that should mean... Actually, no. I didn't even see these 3 men of Fnatic actually go down here as they're attacking from that front doorway. So uMAV doing a fantastic job of holding on. They're actually capping B over at the same time here as Fnatic still spawning outside towards B. And Marsu is looking to really get some points in favor of his team.
Yeah, he was trying to be a key player. That didn't really happen for him, sadly. But Baden was such a good turret player on that C site, then just dug in, the same position we see Valu play a lot of the time. And uMAV are in a good spot right now. They're working with A. They haven't gone to the standard setup of using B and C. And it's paying off as long as they can keep the pressure on Fnatic. They can't allow them to cross over here.
I was about to say, this is the first time we've actually seen a team try to control spawns a little bit better here, but Sneaky coming from the backside does get taken down, and we finally do see one man of Fnatic spawning over towards A, so Too Easy. Wouldn't be surprised if he hits that one, but look at this. uMAV have given up control of C, basically. Baton, it's up to him to hold on to this 1v4, and he picks up one kill. He's looking for some more here. He's looking to maintain control of C while AZ and Cat over, but their grenade comes in. He's going to fall, and that should mean Fnatic should cap C over. But in the meantime, Marsu is over towards B, and they do get a really good spawn over towards A.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for at least a two-man push towards that A site. Unfixed is roaming through mid, however, so he could come in support wherever they decide to hit up. They've got that 2-to-1 hold in their favor. They've got to get those tickets back down to a little bit more of an even state. Sneaky now pushing in. We are seeing Unfixed finding Asterix, who's going to be the supporting player, but Marzu falls as well, but finally the counter kill comes in. But Fnatic are doing the work. But A has fallen now, so A behold, unorthodox, but who cares when it's getting you the tickets back in your favor?
Yeah, that's very true. And right now, Fnatic actually committing quite a few resources over towards A. A is actually a lot more contested this game than I thought it would be within this map. But as you can see, on those kills, 20 in favor of uMAV right now, 12 in favor of Fnatic. So they're hurting on that aspect right now. And Kyle is actually coming on the side. He's actually going to take down Delarco, so that should give Fnatic control of A. And at the same time, they're attacking B here. Sneaky trying to hold on to this right here. But I don't think he can.
No, he's been overwhelmed then, and, well, we saw the comfortable C push, well, being retaken by Fnatic. We are seeing Marzu edging in very sneakily there, actually. Capping that one over and getting C in their favor could get them quite nicely set up to wherever they want to go. They've got a player, at least one player split towards A, but one player on the flank towards B as well, so it's dependent on where this goes well. They can convert the flag, but still, they've got to do it fast.
Mort trying to get I think the revive on Valor there does get taken from the back, and that means if he wants, Asterix can take back over A here. Bowden has maintained control of C right now, but with them taking B on the outside, this actually could potentially be a tri-cap here. Winghaven, can he do anything about it, though? He needs to pick up the kills here. He needs to stop this cap from happening. And a perfect spot. Pronate out of the tank does get the kill, but he does get taken down in the end. And this will be, it looks like a tri-cap unless Fnatic can get C.
The thing we're seeing Unfixed just about doing that, controlling the damage chords. Baden will fall. And we are seeing C at least being, one stronghold. We saw a nice little initial split from 2 there over towards the A site. The spawn has been in favor to uMAV to kind of retake A. If they can control B, that's ideal. But B is now being capped out by Valu. This could be the trip cap coming in for the team of Fnatic, and they need it to happen. They're down on tickets at the moment. It's not ideal. They're losing out on A, so at least they can get the 2-to-1 hold for now if Valu can do the job he's doing as we speak.
And you see A right now, Winghaven playing that role that he always plays over towards A, that anchor role. He's looking for a kill or two here, trying to maintain control of A. He does let that one slip away out of his hands. But for how long? Because he's going to be on the side. He's going to get respawns on him, as one squad member does actually right there, as we see Unfixed. But I'm not sure if Unfixed can pick up these 2 kills he needs to really take A back.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be easy. Marzu was such a key player before. Nading over, very smart play. He's going to have to force the med pack out of Unfix, but Unfix deals with him rather well. That's going to open up the side, but look at that. Sneaky already in a great position there, forcing him to back away, heal up, and look for another option. Because uMAV only put in 1 man to this site. They put all their other resources towards C, and they've got the 1 respawn going in. Maybe they're going to try and lighten that kind of load there and allow him to push away, because Fnatic are going to be pressured on the C site. They may have to kind of force themselves over towards A now.
And you see that, I mean, Unfixed, he's still here looking for a kill. He's actually using that spot you were just talking about. Oh, well, he looks in for a second, then backs away. But right now, I mean, with C being taken, with Delarco and Asterix trying to control this little bit of a way in towards C and A, Fnatic are being forced to ground from the outside right now, and it's currently not working. I think Mort just jumped through the window to actually get in towards A, try to catch Mars off guard. Does kill him, but he does get a respawn back up. And he does actually pick up the kills he needs to lock down A, but can they make a push back onto C? Here we see Winghaven still playing floater, still just kind of sitting back over towards B, allowing any type of respawns. But uMAV, they're getting a terrible spawn currently. It's good to hold A, but they're still down a 2-to-1 cap.
Yeah, but they could convert on C here. They're not in a, convert on B, should I say. They're not in a bad position for that if they can get enough players across without being spotted out early on. But they need to hold on to C, and now they know there's a player on this site. They've got to find him fast. It's been called out. It's Winghaven causing the damage. Mort doing the same. Asterix finding one. Badham finally finds Unfixed. But now C is still being contested. This could have been that trip cap for Fnatic. They could have really controlled the reins. They dealt with the B push. And, uMAV, they had the lead, but now it's coming back to get them.
It really is. I mean, that's the way they've been playing, I think, all the maps so far. They kind of fall behind early on, but then they get their footing. They get the lead back in their own favor. And right now, you're seeing Mort trying to make sure that they control C or at least take it back right now. And we're seeing uMAV with that little bit of a weird spawn they had coming in here by train side. Going to be able to take A, going to be able to lock that one down. But still, it doesn't matter. Fnatic respond very quickly, and they take control of B in 2 easy. I like the spot he's in. He's controlling one area of getting towards B and towards C with this.
Yeah, it's smart play. He knows where, obviously, the opposition are going to be. So he's just watching that because he thinks they're maybe going for an AB hold. We saw uMAV doing it earlier. And he's already spotted a couple of players out. So, you know, smart play coming in. Marzu just being forced back a touch. Does catch a glimpse of the opposition, so probably going to be calling that one out to Sneaky, saying, guy, you know, make sure you're a little bit careful where you push through there, because they've got people present in mid. And 2-1 hold, they don't need to be too, you know, worried about it at the moment, but, you know, there's got to be a counterplay coming from uMAV. It looks like it's going to be the C site. We do see those nades coming through. Marzu's been put down extraordinarily low. Baden's pushing in. He's finally picked up by Unfixed, giving away there's at least one more player on this side. He's been picked up by Marzu. He's going to push and get the revive, and they can convert this point, and they've still got players present on A. This should be a good 2-1 hold in favor to uMAV for some time now. They're set up, and they got to negate the tickets that were just won over by Fnatic then.
I like Winghaven's spot, though, and he's playing it very, well, he was playing it very sneaky-like. He's trying to get some respawns in towards C.
They go for the trip cap.
Spawn towards the back. Yeah, they're sending one man out to the backside, but can they still control to C here? Sneaky, can he pick up these kills? Can he stop C for being capped over? Let's see if this makes this one happen right now. And there's one man, Unfixed, does get taken down by Marso, I believe, and they do get the respawn, so they will be able to get control of C, I would imagine, unless 2Easy can hold on to it. No, he can't. And that will be a tri-cap. So Fnatic, where are they going to start capping over? It looks like A is the first thing.
Yeah, A, the easiest side to hit on that respawn. I'm surprised that uMAV didn't already expect that, but I don't think they expected to hold a trip cap for long. And uMAV are going to focus on that B-C hold. They've gone back to the ideal situation. They're not happy just being in the buildings. They're holding mid. They're holding the crosses. Ideal position. They can just spot it out, allow whoever's in the better position to pick it up. So let's say Unfixed pushes forward to the next container. He'll be spotted from mid, and probably the player on the B side will now be aware and probably pick him up. But there's the exchange. There's the spot. There's the kill. Lovely, lovely positioning coming in from uMAV. Fnatic are being held back by A for now. And look at the tickets. They're getting so damn close.
They're tri-capping again.
Oh my god.
They don't give any cares. And with the ticket lead they have right now, with how little there is across the board for both these teams, this could give them a huge advantage coming to the second half. They're going to get it unscathed. And right now, Fnatic are just looking for some sort of way to attack.
And they've had to go for a split here. 2 down low, trying to send these guys through. Look back towards C to try and find a little bit of a silver lining to this, but they're getting stuck. They're even getting the kills against them. Asterix, Mort, all racking them up. But still, Fnatic going to be pushing on towards that C side through the lower tunnels.
Got anything yet.
9 tickets remaining. This is unbelievable from uMAV, from such a strong starting Fnatic. They've turned this one around again. And for once, they'll be going with the advantage of the first half. And this is truly a beautiful sight. 1 ticket left. 31 tickets remaining for uMAV.
That was just very, very well done by them. And it's a shame for them they couldn't get that done a little bit earlier, but it doesn't matter. They got it done in the end. And going into that second half, if you're Fnatic, just looking at that, like, we got tri-capped at the end. We could not get out of that. I mean, that tri-cap lasted for, I want to say, good 45 seconds, 45 seconds.
Certainly around that.
And Fnatic just couldn't break through that wall. That uMAV was just out-aiming them one-on-one, one-on-twos, and were able to really lock that one down and control it.
Yeah, and Valley was very quiet that game. 8-11, that's not ideal. Neither was Mort. Unfixed 12-10. 2Easy, great. You know, he played the more aggressor. He kind of made his way around the back, kind of shook things up every now and then, but kills don't mean you're capping points the whole time. Marzu, Asterix, you know, Baden as well. Baden on C was a great player. Very, very potent the way he played that one.
None of them had under a 1 KDA.
There you go.
Like, that's very hard to do for any team. And to have every single member of your team do that, and then to be able to track at the end, you know, get that 31 ticket lead coming into the second half, it really shows that uMAV is really maturing as a team to me.
And now the interesting thing in my eyes that I want to see now is how uMAV deal with actually having an advantage. Every single half they've got into on the second, they've been at a disadvantage. First map, they had to overcome a 47 ticket deficit. Second map, 59. Now they've got a 31 ticket advantage. You know, this could be good for them. This could be Fnatic going out in the semifinals. That's unheard of to this point. These guys have been so strong, as you mentioned, only losing 1 map so far. Not even a game, a map. Well, 2 now.
Yeah, 2 now.
2 now. But to this point, you know, uMAV are really pushing them. And this means Fnatic now need to come out of the stops really fighting.
And then look at the other half of the bracket. We have Dignitas facing off against Epsilon. Can they take down one of those 2 teams? And if I think they can take down Fnatic, they have a very likely chance of doing that, where Fnatic's already been able to prove they can beat Epsilon. They've been able to, well, they haven't been able to prove it just yet that they can beat Dignitas since they didn't advance into the finals, but they beat Meteor Makers, who beat Dignitas, so by association they have been able to deal with them. But either way, this game's getting underway here. We're going to have Fnatic over on the Russian side with uMAV over on the US side. Let's see how they attack it this time, because remember, we saw Fnatic send a lot of men towards A when they were on the US side here, but we see a 3-man push coming out of uMAV over towards B, a 2-man hold on to C here, and we see Valo getting very aggressive. This is a very interesting position to be in.
He's trying to go and flank round on B. Perfect idea as well. He somehow broke through mid then, being aggressive. They've maintained the hold through that middle section there and a little bit over towards B. So perfect start. You know, it's very rare to see the Russian side coming out on top on that B and A hold. Normally it's that CB stuff right here. So, you know, they've not won it completely, but they're in a good position to convert if they can get the penetration and the kills on these sites. But Baden, we know he's good in this position, and he's showing it again. Does get the exchange, but still, they've got players present on C.
Just about uMAV are going to go for another tri-cap here. They're sending Del Arco over towards A, and no one's there to contest it just yet. I believe Unfix is going there to try to hold on to it. Sneaky's kind of making his way there at the same time. Fnatic getting forced out here to spawn, and we have Asterix alive in towards C to defend against this, and they have the prime position to be in to hold on to this. He gets one kill on the wing, looking for a second. He almost gets down another man of Fnatic, but either way, he kind of made his presence known. He held onto it. He's looking for Winghaven again. He gets the kill. Actually, one of his teammates got the kill onto him, so he's down for sure here. And they're gonna almost pull off a tri-cap. Unfix was able to make his way and able to pick up a kill or two, but he's getting flanked in from both sides.
And uMAV are playing scrappy but good Battlefield. Maybe overextending a little bit there by sending a couple of players towards A to try and convert it on the idea they might lose C. But now they've lost out on both because they spread a little bit too thin in my eyes. But look at B. Are they going to be able to hold on to this? Is this going to be a trip cap for Fnatic coming out to make up that huge deficit of a start that they did? They could be getting a trip cap. We need uMAV to focus out on it if they want to get themselves back in this one, because Fnatic are just going to be taking the reins. They've got a reason to start fighting. Lovely play underneath those tunnels of C from uMAV, but still, A is going to be going in favor. I can imagine 2 Easy is going to win that exchange on A towards the Fnatic side. C is going to be the last bastion for uMAV to work their counterplay from.
Right now, they're kind of not looking too strong to be able to hold on to this as well, because Fnatic just rushed in. Unfix, fantastic shot right there on the Baden right there. Might have opened up C. It will actually, in fact, do that. They will have a tri-cap yet again here, but uMAV getting the respawn towards A. They're going to be able to pick that one up here, but can Del Arco take down the last man standing for Fnatic? He, in fact, does. 2 Easy falls. In the meantime, they're sending 2-man squad out here against a 2-man squad of Fnatic in a fight for B.
Yeah, and that B fight is going to be vital right now. C obviously complements this a little bit more and even supplements it towards the later game, but those nades being spammed out are almost checking off areas of B the players will be hiding. They're now working it through. Value picking up one. There's going to know there's another one present, and this could be a trip cap coming out for the US team, which is uMAV, and they've done it. They've got the trip cap here after those points got a little bit close. They've just turned around and said, okay, we could do exactly what you were doing, but hell, we'll make it stick for a little bit longer. But they cannot spread themselves too thin, and they've done it again. A being counted, C being counted. This could be a 2-1 in favor to Fnatic just because they overestimated, you know, how far they could push out of that.
We'll see what happens here as we do have Valor coming for the backside, getting 2 very easy kills for himself. Does maintain control of it. They will have C as well, so they do get that 2-1, just like you were saying. Asterix, he has something to say about it here as he's looking to pick up a kill or two. Does get 1, and actually does take down the entire squad of Fnatic that was over towards C. So just as fast as Fnatic flopped it around to a 2-1 for themselves, they're going to lose it and go down 1-2 here. And uMAV, well, that's just I say that, actually going to be going back to a 2-1 in favor of Fnatic. Huh. Or not. I don't know. Everything's getting capped over so quickly. This is like one of those maps where everything is technically so close to each other that you can't have constant recaps happening.
Yeah, and we're seeing in the points, no team's been able to kind of slow down yet. Let's bear in mind if Fnatic, which is the Russian side on the left side of your screen, drops below 31 tickets, they are pretty much in trouble here. So they're not, you know, sitting too comfortably, even though it looks even on the overall scoreboard. You've got to keep that in mind. Fnatic have their backs to the wall. They've got to be getting these trip caps. They've got to be getting these 2-1 holds, which they're doing, but can they hold them? As we mentioned, no one seems to be able to lock down these sites for an extended period of time. Already A being counted, but B's now the one they've really got to work on for uMAV.
Oh, there's one man here, Winghaven, looking to hold on to that one. He does get taken down. And we do have 2 minute Fnatic actually coming out of the backside. We see Baden take down 2 Easy, or not 2 Easy, sorry, that was, I believe, Value maybe. And 2 Easy trying to get into B here. He does spot Asterix, but he does get taken the better of. And Asterix locks him down. We'll pick up the kill. We'll pick up the site as well. And Fnatic being forced on spawns here. And there's only 1 man on uMAV to hold on to A here. It is in the hands of Sneaky. But it doesn't matter. In the meantime, the rest of his team is capping over B, capping over C, and they will have a tri-cap yet again here. And he's actually winning the fight at A. He won the fight at A! And because of that, they hold the tri-cap for a little bit longer. They get the respawns at A at the same time, and Winghaven's the last man on Fnatic to really bring this one back over for his team.
This is absolutely huge. Fnatic are being bullied and broken right now. They've got to focus out on the B side rather than A because there's a 2-player-to-1 exchange. But Marzu's coming in on B as well. He's taken out 2. He's going to hold this one. But can they hold C? Can they hold A? Can they keep keep this back in their favor. uMAV are holding on to C. They've got B. They've got the ideal setup here. And those tickets are going to start getting pretty damn low for Fnatic. They've got to start working this out because already Sneaky challenging. He's taken down Mort. He found Winghaven. And that is a trip cap again. 87 tickets to 75. Fnatic are in trouble.
And the thing is, it's not even about strategy at this point for uMAV. It's just them going in 1v2 and picking up those 2 kills by themselves. Like, they are winning these firefights so damn well at every single time, and they have the tri-cap still yet again. Remember, the ticket number, the magic number we're looking for Fnatic's side is 31, and if they fall below that, uMAV will pull on an upset and actually advance into the finals against the winners of Dignitas versus Epsilon.
30 more tickets stand between uMAV and getting to the grand finals here, and that's all they're seeing in this present second. They're going to give up on
again.
A. Oh my god, they're going to convert on A. Marzu doing the damage. Fnatic are falling apart at the seams. They've got no one closer. Sneaky is living up to that name that he's gone and chosen because every time he takes A down, he pushes them back. And Fnatic, this is their last chance. They've got to make this one count. But oh, Sneaky's still holding them back for a second. But look at that line of defense, cutting down the middle. 31 tickets. Only a couple remain. Fnatic could be out of this.
They definitely could. I mean, those tickets are still falling by the wayside. 38 tickets, 37 remaining. There's only 7 more before the game is over. And right now, B and C are still being held by uMAV. Value making a desperation play here, trying to cap over to C. But the rest of uMAV has pushed towards A. They're looking for a recap on it themselves. Even if they do lose B, they're looking to take it.
33 tickets. These next 2 captures are absolutely vital. Mort picking up the kill, gets taken down. 32
they can't afford
tickets.
To die anymore.
This is down to the wire. 1 more ticket and this is game over. They've got so little chance. And my god, ladies and gentlemen, uMAV have done it. Fnatic are not sticking around for this one. They are out of there. And my god, Dogbert called it. There was going to be an upset. And he called it correctly. This is unbelievable. Fnatic just got overrun by uMAV.
That was completely not expected. But
not in my mind.
Wrong button. But it was pleasantly seen, though. I mean, I'm really glad to see these other teams come out big like that. And just like we're saying, it wasn't strategy that won them the game. At least towards the end of that one, it was just straight up aim. We saw two-pronged attack happen. It was one man go towards B, one man work towards A. I think it was Sneaky at A, and I can't remember the man that was actually at B. I think it was Bowden maybe. They each won 1v2s.
Yeah.
And because of that, they took B, they took C. They forced 4 men of Fnatic to respawn or to go on respawn timers. And when that happened, they were in the worst possible position up towards the railways in the top left of the map. And they just couldn't get back to a site. They couldn't. Wow.
Wow, I think we're not the only ones surprised. Twitch chat, you seem to be enjoying the fact there's an upset, and I think we all are in a little bit of a sadistic way. I love the way Fnatic play. I love these guys; they're incredibly talented. But uMAV, they're not coming out of nowhere. They've certainly challenged the big guys before, but in some style, they've just done that. My God, that's through to the grand finals here.
Yeah.
That can pretty much secure a team if they, at this point into the offline finals. That's massive for these guys. Absolutely massive.
I think, I'm not 100% sure of this, but because we're just getting into the grand finals, that pretty much secures them a spot in the group stage.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. There's no way out of that. As much as I'd love to say, a lot of other teams can come up and come down and kind of keep getting through to these points, Team uMAV can, but not every second guy can take down Fnatic. Those guys are incredible. Let's bear in mind, on every single first half of the map, excluding the last one, Fnatic held the advantage. They put uMAV on the back foot. uMAV came out fighting. Right. They really pushed them hard. But in that last map, whatever uMAV did during that break, whatever chat they had, it damn well worked. They looked like a step above.
They truly did. And I'm looking forward to see what they can do in the grand finals versus the winner, Dignitas and Epsilon. But one thing we do have to say for Fnatic, with them just getting to the semifinals alone, that 100% has secured them a spot in group stages.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's in the top 4, whether or not it's in the bottom 4, or wherever they are in that one, it has secured them a spot. So they can obviously go home a little bit happy. They can go home happy with that at least. Obviously, they're not going to be completely happy taking a loss against uMAV and their first loss overall within the EMS series. But securing a spot in the group stages, that's not bad.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Fnatic, I'd be very interested to speak to Too Easy after this, see how he felt about that, because I kind of asked him before. I'm sorry to call you out, Too Easy here. I said, uMAV, they've got a fairly decent reputation. Their games yesterday, they looked really strong. He was like, see you in the finals. He didn't even seem fazed by them. I think he might need to go back there right now and kind of see what's just happened. I think we need to leave them to kind of cool down because they've just been beaten by a team they didn't even expect to. So we'll leave them to kind of take a break there. And on that note, I think we could be taking a very quick break.
Okay.
See you in a sec, guys, with the second semifinals coming up. It will be Team Dignitas against Epsilon, and we'll be finding out who will be joining Team uMAV in the grand finals here. Wow.
Peggy 18.
越王勾践卧薪尝胆，最后灭了吴国。这么多年来，给他们造玩具、鞋子，甚至他们的国旗，一边忍受他们的傲慢，一边等待时机。现在，时机终于到了，让他们见识我们民族的伟大。瞧好吧。
Peggy 18.
For 2 years, we've listened to the tales of our fellow soldiers. But the war has changed, and with it, the stories. Stories of men being swallowed up whole in the flooded bowels of Metro. Or never emerging from the fiery hells of Operation Firestorm. We've listened to the legends of entire armies being decimated by a single strike along the Caspian border. Sandstorms so fierce in the Gulf of Oman, it's like you're fighting ghosts. For 2 years we've heard these stories. Listen to the legends. They say this is a war that cannot be won. We'll put that theory to the test.